Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. I just found out Tina's not going to be able to come on today. We kind of got the times mixed up. Well, I should say she did. I always do the show at 9 a.m. Hawaiian time. Always did it that way for years now. But they changed their clocks, so she was an hour off. And I guess she can't do it any later. But I got a lot to talk about today. I don't know how things are where you are. The UFO world's going crazy. More people every day that I talk to have experiences. I just found a UFO group here in Hawaii, near where I am. So I didn't actually start working with them or anything yet, but I hope to in the near future. I will be bringing a couple on in a week or two, or let's see, soon anyway. Both were abducted. They got some videos to send me as well. So there's just so much going on. I don't know where you are, what's happening in your country, your state, wherever you are right now, but there are just so many things. I just hear a lot of noise. I'm trying to see if I can cover it up. But just to start with, I miss Tina already because she's going through a lot with this kind of like radiation poisoning that her body's kind of filled with, and nobody's helping her. The doctors, her dentist, her doctors, the hospital, none of them could really help her understand and tell her what's really going on. And her story is incredible about that, including when she went to the hospital and had something cut out of her stomach. And they said it was too controversial to show anybody. In England, they film everything. Every operation, they film it. So when she went to get it, they said, oh, she can't get it. So she went to court to try to get it. And then they still turned around and said, oh, no, you can't get it. It's too controversial. Let me just put this in there real fast. So I'm on the Big Island of Hawaii. And it's so much different than Maui or Honolulu. Honolulu looks like New York City. But here on this island, most people have 2-3 dogs. There's tons of roosters and chickens all over the streets everywhere. So it's kind of noisy all day and all night. If it's not dogs barking, it's roosters crowing. And the other thing is, UFOs very seldom make any kind of noise. Some ships do, not a lot, not many, but once in a while they do. But I'm going to go into so many things today. I hope you're ready for truth, not lies and stories and other people's ideas. Anything I tell you is something I experienced or direct closest friend to me that I usually don't get into their experiences in detail anyway, because I can't prove it and I don't know what it really feels like or felt like. But I do know what I feel and what I felt when I saw things. Now, here in Hawaii, people, I would say at least 1 out of 10 people that I speak to, out of the 10 people I would speak to in a row, one of them had a UFO experience. Whether it was just being next to a ship, seeing a ship, one of them might be abducted. So it ranges. I mean, many people that I dealt with lost their children, for real people. I'm talking about almost getting ready for delivery, and suddenly their baby's gone. I was doing this many years ago before all these other UFO people got involved with it. I'm talking when I was 19. I was born in 52. So how many UFO people were actually involved in the UFO world? I mean, you got Bud Hopkins. All he did was hypnotize people and tell their stories. He never even saw an alien or a ship. So we talk about people that are out here and like ancient aliens. Not one of those people ever stood next to an alien, a Bigfoot, or a UFO. And they all got great stories to tell and what they think and believe and feel. But it's all dreamland. The same as people think, I'm not going to go into the religious side or spiritual side yet. Maybe at the end of the show I will. But people think, oh, the aliens are going to come help us, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. Where did they get their evidence from? All right. I can tell you this. Uh, no aliens are going to help us in a good way. They have helped us in very bad ways. They have always been here. It's not like they're coming new. They were here when Jesus was here. They were here when Buddha was here. They were here back in the Hindu days when they were working with deities. But the deities kind of left and left people with aliens as gods. The Egyptians, the Mayans, the Aztecs, and almost all the tribal people were working with aliens. In the United States, they talk about the star beings. The star beings never helped them, people. Never. I mean, I talked to chiefs all over the United States, elders, and they all, well, they helped us. Helped you what? Die? There was 50 million Native people here 400 years ago, and now there's less than 1 million. I'm talking about full-blood Native Americans. And most of them are on the reservations, which the United States is trying to eliminate. All right? They want them to be normal people in their vocabulary, working, hardworking people, doing what they want them to do, and be slaves to their system. All right? But in the interim, they have very little truth about aliens. Every tribal people says, oh, they helped us. They did this. They didn't help us move forward in any good way. Technology is not moving forward at a spiritual level. All right. And the way I put it, the human race, meaning men in general, only increase and change the toys they play with. From a car to a ship to a boat to a plane to a rocket to weapons, it's only changing the size and the power of them. More powerful is all they care about. In fighting, the stronger you are. I mean, we don't do anything positive on this planet in any great way. Oh, we grow organic food. What's the word organic really mean? We didn't totally put tons of poison on it? What are the aliens doing to help us now? Nothing, people. I don't care. I kind of was, I wouldn't say outlawed in the UFO world, but they all hate me because I deal with truth. I don't deal with storyland and stories and programmed people. In the UFO world, like Tina and I, we talk about a word. And in the UFO world, they created a new word for abductees. Tina's an abductee. All the new people, oh, I'm an experiencer. And that means they were in their bedroom and they were taken on a ship and shown things and all this stuff. Not one of them has any important proof of anything good to give us or tell us. Well, they could tell us stories about multiple universes and all the other worlds and blah, blah, blah. But there is zero proof of anything they say. Never mind, they do not get anything solid, period. Even John Lennon, and this is a fact, whether you want to know it or not, was abducted. But he was given something from an alien race. And that was given to another famous person right before he died, a week before he died. But people, in general, out of all the people that I know in my whole life, nobody was given anything other than maybe an embryo or something. But outside of that, nothing else. People, you want the truth. This is the only place you're going to hear all of it. I've been in this all my life. I dealt with every aspect of it. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I was next to a Bigfoot. Sergeant 18 and I did 6 years of work up in Wanacue, New Jersey, government property. Probably the most outrageous, dangerous place on the planet because it was created by, guess who? It had to do with the Philadelphia experiment, which was an experiment created from Tesla's technology. All right, they opened up a vortex. It's the worst vortex on the planet that I know of because it allows so many horrible things to come through it. And the government's been trying to close it, and they can't. I could go on about incredible things, but I'm not going to. Sure, there's people I can't mention. Their lives are in danger. Mine is, but I put it out there totally for the truth only. I'll die in the truth. I'll live in the truth, period. I'm not going to tell you stories. I'm not going to make things up. I'm not going to tell you how other people felt. Oh, well, he felt, and this was happening, and that was happening, and this, and they weren't even there. They don't know. The guy could be making half of it up. Now, Travis Walton did a movie. Didn't even like the movie years later. I'm supposed to be releasing another one. He just did a special, 2-hour special. Maybe it was an hour. I'm not sure. It just seemed so long on the History Channel. Again, they took all the people that were involved with that, retested them, asked them the questions and all those kind of things. I'm not saying his story is not real, but he truly doesn't know what really happened. He knows he was abducted. He knows they did things to him. But outside of that, anything added to that is just added to that. The truth doesn't change. You can say, well, they had me on the bed and they were playing with my body. Oh, no, they were taking me out to dinner. You can't change a story. The truth doesn't change ever. People telling it change it because they don't like the way it was or is. All right, when Travis disappeared for days, they were going to blame these people for killing him. But then when he came back burnt up, okay, now I can tell you a similar story, but not in detail like that. I lived on Long Island for a while. I was staying at a multi-millionaire's person's house because he was traveling the world, and we got to stay there for a month. When he came back, I talked to him a little bit, and he goes, "Oh, you want to hear an incredible story? And I'll show you pictures." He lived on the ocean, multi-million-dollar house, jacuzzis, swimming pool on top of the house, and all kinds of stuff. Incredible. But when he came back, he talked to me. He goes, "Well, look, his bedroom had these big glass windows that just look at the ocean. Incredible view, right?" Well, he said he was with his girlfriend. They were making love. They both were naked, looking out the window. Hear the noise in Hawaii? Hold on. Let me try to stop that. Give me 1 second. What I have to deal with in Hawaii, the bird should be a rooster. All right. So basically what happened, he said they were in front of the window on the floor. And this ship came down and went into the ocean. They were both burnt. Both of them were beat red. They called the hospital up. And when the hospital answered, they said, "Look, what you need to do is take 3 aspirins and go to bed." Why would a hospital tell people to take aspirins and go back to bed if they say they were both burnt? All right. The next morning, woke up, they were perfectly normal. But he had pictures of the ship. It was in the newspapers. He showed me the articles and everything. Nothing was ever done or said or talked about that anymore. Good things that are really big, I mean, as far as the UFO world goes, are always squashed. He wasn't killed. He was a multimillionaire because he built all the millionaire houses on Long Island. So here's the thing, people. The truth is out there. People do have it. And what the topic is today, it will not be stopped this year. There's too many places coming out at every level. Say 1 million pictures came out, 1 million videos came out, and only 10 of them are real. 10 are real. And there has to be real ones in between all of them. Has to be, because I know what I saw in my lifetime. I saw over 2,000 ships from close. I'm not talking about dots in the sky all the time and things like that, or what they call satellites and all the other words they use. I'm talking about actual ships. All right. Why am I alive? I have no clue. All my friends in the UFO world, the top speakers I know, are all gone. Before Ancient Aliens, all right, Global Sciences did all these conferences around the United States, about 3 or 4 a year in different parts of the United States. And they had people from all over the world, speakers, come to it and lecture and things like that. I got to be doing that around 6 years. I was with Sergeant 18 at the time. And we spent 6 years filming and taking pictures and videos of weird, strange creatures, entities, and multiple real ships, not Tic Tacs. So when they still keep pushing Tic Tacs like Lou Elizondo, I've been trying to get in touch with him. I can only say he's controlled by the government. He's on Skinwalker Ranch. He's on these different things. And he goes, "I respect everybody." He doesn't respect me at all because I have more proof than anybody he's talking to. And he's still talking about Tic Tacs and he's talking about drones. I'm talking about real ships, real aliens, not baloney stories. All right. Uh, Again, all these people in the UFO world that are telling these great stories, and then you got Stephen Greer. He's going to build a big building complex to place people there to learn how to talk to aliens. Well, because he's got money from somewhere to do that. Why? Do people really think talking to aliens is going to help mankind? Never did. Why should it now? What did they ever do for the human race? Nothing. Nothing good. Technology they gave us, which is all Tesla's knowledge, period, people, is not going to save mankind. It's helping destroy the planet and the people right now, whether you want to know that or not. He created an earthquake machine in 1900, an earthquake machine, which the government has, and the world's have it. And if you look at the earthquake chart, it has never been so bad as it is in the past couple of years. Last year and this year are incredibly horrible. I'm talking over 5.0s, anywhere between 5 and 10 a day, which never happened in history. So people, Tesla created dangerous weapons. He was responsible for the Philadelphia experiment. He was responsible for the HARP system. The deadliest weapons on the planet, people. Do you know that? Do you even know what they are? You should. I can tell you, you could talk to everybody in Congress and presidents and all them. They have no clue what's going on. They don't even want to talk about UFOs. They're afraid to talk about aliens. They're afraid to talk about what Tesla really gave us and did. He gave the United States government 50 deadly weapons. Deadly weapons. And just to tell you, I'm going to tell you this straight out. The United States has the highest technology in weapons, period, people. Not Russia, not China. China believes more people, more warriors is going to save them. It's not. I'm going to tell you something really top secret. My top secret. During Vietnam War, they had technology of a gun. They could blast a city and put everybody unconscious for 24 hours. The whole city without killing them. All right. The chemical warfare was made illegal against the UN, and they said we can't use chemical weapons and all that. But they do. You think Iraq? I saw videos of them shooting lasers in Iraq, blasting cars in half with the people inside the car. You know, just because we say it's illegal, does that make doing drugs illegal? Yes, but does it stop it? No. You think the government's not working on high-tech viruses with no cures? Go inside. The United States has 12 places where they do it. They won't give the addresses because they know they would be attacked. All right. But we're doing it. We talk about China and everybody. Blame everybody except yourself. We allowed it, people. We allowed what's happening. Killing people, fighting. Now, Putin come out years ago, right before Trump was elected. He said they work with aliens. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. He said he wanted Trump to release what really happened at 9/11. Well, do you know what's happening? Do you care? Do you want the truth? Of course not. Nobody does. Everybody's living in la la land. If you're Christian, which is 2.5 billion people, are waiting for Jesus to come back and save their ass. All right? But what do you think is going to happen? Jesus is going to come back and say, oh, you are all good people. I'm going to take you to heaven? Really? What do you do for God? What do you know about God? What are you doing? Oh, I send love to the world. I help people when I can. Multi-billionaires and millionaires think they're spiritual? Are they doing God's work or aliens' work or demons' work? And the other thing is, in the religious world, everybody's trying to say aliens are demons. They're not. They're separate race, the same as deities are not aliens. People, I did this for my life and all my lifetimes. If you want to learn what you need to learn here, you better get forward and start, because you have to learn how to leave your body. Number one, this physical body, step out of it. And you have to learn about your past lives. All that knowledge you had in all your lifetimes is there if you need it and can find it. But you'd rather live in the moment, which means sex, drugs, rock and roll, cheap thrills, hardcore sex, you name it. Then there's nothing about a God. In the UFO world, it's pulling people into the idea that aliens are God, which it was in the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians. They all believed that. Anything with power was given power, but they didn't use the word God. God's a new word. Deities was what they were called in the beginning, which were deities. But when aliens came, they considered them high beings because they had power. I mean, let me explain something. You might accept this or not. But in the beginning, Grandmaster UV, okay, question? Uh, but in the beginning, all right, when aliens came here, they destroyed Atlantis. Atlantis was the most spiritual place on the planet that ever existed. Not the Sumerians, all the other tribal people. We had 32 psychic abilities. All these words did not exist: rape, murder, killing, and all those kind of things, sacrifice. They didn't do that. That wasn't part of the system. It wasn't a part of God. All right? Now, aliens came, took over the role of being God, erasing the idea of God. 90% of the people in the UFO world truly don't believe in a God, or they wouldn't want to be talking to aliens. Who would you rather talk to, God or aliens? Well, if you didn't believe in God, you'd want to talk to an alien. Hey, bro, what's going to save us? Nothing. Mankind could only save themselves, and they don't want to. Look at the stuff we're doing. All right. I had a bunch of things. I'm really sorry Teen is not here, but what can I do? She was wrong about the time. I was hoping she'd still come in, but she might have went to bed already. I don't know what the story is with that, but hopefully we'll get it straight next week. And I'm going to be bringing a couple on. They live right next door to me. They have both been abducted. They got videos. They're going to give me some videos to look at and stuff like that. So they lived in the valley and they saw ships and everything, and they filmed it. So, the government can only hide things for so long. I mean, and the only thing the government releases is Tic Tacs. You don't think they got thousands and thousands of videos of real ships and they're going to show you a Tic Tac, a dot going around in circles? Big deal. I was in it all my life. I saw just about every kind of ship myself personally. Some I were really close to. One landed in my yard. The alien came in my house. I could go on about my stories that were real to me and people that were around me. I had a friend in my house. When the alien came in the house, we both chased it with sticks, and it went in the ship, and the ship took off. All right? When I was little in the hospital with my brother, a ship came right up to the window, and it was shining this beam at my brother, and I jumped in front of it, and then the ship shot back out into space. And it wasn't a drone. It wasn't a Russian ship. It wasn't a Chinese ship. So when people talk, and like Lou Lozano, well, I think most of them are drones. Drones doing what? Circling on the planet for what reason? Circling the United States? Hanging around over a person's house? Really? Nothing else better to do? I got a light ship that's always over me, always following me for 2 years now. I beg it. I said, look, I'll give you whatever you want, but you got to give me something back. The one time it blinked at me 120 times. Okay, my camera froze. 2 of my cameras were dead, frozen. Now, I was in the downtown Hawaii at the bank. I was going to the bank, and it was just closed. And this triangle ship came right up out of the mountain. I mean, it maybe 100, 150 feet above my head. It was the loudest noise, blasting my eardrums. When I grabbed the camera, I have it on my side. I grabbed it. It froze. It didn't work. Within 4 seconds, that ship was gone out of sight. I mean, from the second I saw it, it just went like Star Trek. No lie. And that was real. When I went into town, I asked people, did anybody hear that? Nobody heard it. So you could only hear it directly under it when it was close to the ground. That was just one little thing. But here in Hawaii, my partner was going across the island. The Army base is on top of the mountain, obviously, and it's a restricted area. Well, you drive near it, but you can't drive across it, through it. You can't fly over it or anything like that. Well, she shot 3 triangles, ships, over the base in the middle of the day. All right? I never put them up. I don't put things up because, people say, oh, it's fake. I don't care. If you want the truth, listen to what I'm telling you and go out and find it yourself, because you won't believe anything I say anyway. People have to prove things to themselves, and they should. But don't accept other people's words just because they are famous. All right. My screen keeps blocking out. I've been trying to get that fixed for the longest time. My laptop never did it, and all of a sudden it's doing it now too. I had such a hard time starting this show because all these sites wouldn't let my video be shown on my screen. I went to 4 sites, and every one of them had my video blocked. So I just got into this one last minute. I was afraid I was going to have to cancel the show or do whatever I could. But here's the thing, people. I've been in this my life. I'm on a spiritual quest as well. I've been on that, and it's much more important in the UFO world. I wrote 4 books, and none of them are talking about aliens. I did a PDF file, how to see a UFO book, for anybody that wants a manual on how to see a UFO. Free. Email me, and I'll send it to you. It's just a simple text, and it's about 200 pages, but it'll help you get an idea of the best and easiest way to see a UFO if you want to see a UFO. And then why do you want to see it? All right. But there's still many things happening around us. And all these UFO people are talking about the good aliens. At these conferences, how much does a person learn? A famous speaker lived in Hawaii, and he moved out a couple of years ago. But I used to harass him all the time. Everything he wrote was about government weapons. I said, if you hate the government that much, why don't you go back to your country, which was Australia? I said, why are you here? Why are you putting down the United States government? I mean, they're the defense to the United States. No matter what they do, they're still keeping the United States here. They're not worried about the poor people here and things like that, but they're worried about keeping the rich people here underground in their cities. Do you know anything about that? Why not? Do you believe it's real? Oh, no, I don't think so. Well, it is, people. These things are real. Jesse Ventura did a show on TV and showed it. And the next year they took a show, right after the first show, they canned his 3rd year. But he put so much real important information out there. He went to a FEMA base. He went to the New World Order's home base, which is right over the underground city entrance for one part of the country. People, do you care enough to go outside the box? Probably not. You got bills to pay, you got children to take care of, and you got a job to do. So the little time you want to relax, sure you do. I don't. I'm sorry, I haven't been doing that for 25 years. I'm right next to the ocean. I didn't even go swimming in 2-3 years now. I walk to the cliffs every morning with my dog, and I'm right in front of the ocean looking at it. But right where I am, you can't actually go swimming in the water because it's super dangerous. But I'm only about a half hour from the ocean where I could go swimming. But I'd rather write, do letters, do my books. I got a new book, just finished writing it. Nothing to do with aliens. Aliens aren't as important as what we're doing to mankind in life. The book that I'm putting out is for women only. Because what's happened to women has never changed in 100,000 years. 100,000 years. Isn't that kind of sad? And man's ego has only grown, and the only thing they care about is better toys. Thinking we could go and pollinate another place in the universe. Why would we do that? Because we destroyed the planet. And you think we're not going to take the same damage and corruption and pervertedness to another planet? And you think aliens really want that? Technology that Tesla was given, all right, was not good. It's all weapons. What do you need weapons for? To kill another country, destroy another country. Now, there's multiple races here, 9 that are actually dealing with this planet. I know people that said they were, even Putin said he worked with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. But here, Bob Dean said he worked with 27 alien races as well. So, and he was a top speaker in the UFO world until he died. All right, I know 16 people now. Most of them were big speakers. Some of them were inside the UFO world, but quiet, all taken out. One's in the nut house, one's in jail, one just got out of jail dying. So yeah, that's where the world of good speakers in the UFO world go. My friend discovered Area 51, people. He brought a van out there every 2 weeks with 6 or 8 people, whoever they could fit in the van, and help pay for the van, and drove out there, and they filmed and watched the mothership come in. The mothership land there. So when they found he was there, they bought all that land around it. Now it became the most restricted area in the United States. People, do you think things happen for no reason? You think the government's really that stupid? You don't think they know what Russia's doing, what China's doing? They're afraid of us. I mean, they're testing nuclear weapons. We're so far beyond nuclear weapons. Do you know that, people? They released D.E.W, directed energy weapons, last year. They were testing them in the United States. And the biggest thing, which they brought out, they said it just this week. I knew it for a couple months already because they've mentioned it, but they didn't publicize it. 5G weapon. It was created as a weapon. It is the most dangerous weapon out there right now. 5G. All right. And I know they're playing with 5G here in Hawaii. I don't know why. We got the biggest army base here underground. It is the first center of defense for the United States. You know that, people? Either? No, I'm sure you don't. After Pearl Harbor, it changed greatly. All right. It is a center of defense. Look at the highest technology. The HARP system boat comes in our ocean every 6 months. Well, what's that? Well, if you don't know what's going on, obviously you're not going to know the important things that are happening and why. How long can it last? Well, UN Agenda 21-30. It's an important thing. Look that up. Are aliens involved with that? You should think about it, because basically it's going to be one world order, controlled. All right, population cut over half. But guess what? Phil Snyder, who was killed, they said he committed suicide, was taken down in an army base with 67 Green Berets, and they were all killed. He got out, blown apart. His hand was slit right across. His hand was cut off. His belly was split right open, and half of his foot was blown out. And they said he tried committing suicide. What? What kind of weapon did he use to do that? And not be able to and survive through it? So he was found wrapped up in barbed wire and said he committed suicide. But his story, while he was alive, when they were taken into this army base, they didn't know that it was an alien base when the army was sending them down inside there. And they were using weapons, and they killed all these Green Berets. He was blasted. One guy saved him, got him on the elevator that got him out of there. All right. They don't talk about that in the UFO world much, because they don't like to tell how bad aliens are. They're making money off of supposedly good aliens. Nobody wants to hear bad stories unless you're watching a movie. Oh, because it's fake. Well, again, a lot of those movies, like they said it on Ancient Aliens last night. Oh, and what's his face? Oh, it's Ancient Aliens talking about, oh, it's science fiction. No, it's becoming science fact. Really? They still know zero about aliens, what they're here for, what they're doing, or talk about it. And the simplest thing is for food. Nothing else, people. Not about making you a more spiritual person, not helping you build a bomb-proof house. None of those things. How to make bombs, weapons. Where do you go, people, from here? Well, I say you're going to die. You're not going to live longer than 125 years. And even if you reach 125, it's not a long time. When you're 125, you can say, man, that time went fast. When you hit 60, time speeds up even more. So to think that, okay, everything's okay, no, it's not. You're going to die. And what happens then? Aliens are going to come take your body, your soul. What are they going to do? Do you have a clue? Where do you think you're going to go? Heaven? You're going to sit around, all your family, and they're all sitting up there, sitting around the table, talking about what? What do you believe, people? Do you know anything about what aliens do? I don't like to promote too many about people. I promote 3 books. The most important 2 UFO books, as far as what's happening, what's really going on. And in another book, her name's Barbara Marciniak. She put out a book, Bringers of the Dawn. It was really important when she wrote it. She changed. You know, it seems like everybody that talks about aliens or anything important changes their subject later on. Because even, basically it explains how soul, when a person dies, goes through the ozone in the atmosphere into the next realm. Aliens abduct it and use it, if it's not protected. All right. That's not a good thing. But is it real or not? You can figure that out or learn about it if you have to or want to. What happens to abductees? What really goes on in their world? Look at Tina. She's being attacked. I broke my tooth this morning, last night. But she's losing her teeth every month. Her fingernails, her hair's falling out, and she falls down and she turns black and blue. I mean, something's wrong with her. Doctors will not tell her. So I keep saying they're keeping her alive because they need her. I mean, her children are on the ship and things like that. That's her story, all right? And I trust her more than almost anybody else in the UFO world. I've been doing a show with her for 2 years now. I'm really sorry she's not here. I know she's been going to the hospital a real lot as well. But what do aliens want? What do you think they want? Come and make you a spiritual person. Blah, blah, blah. Now you're a spiritual person. Take away your karma and all these kind of words. I want to teach you psychic abilities. I want to get into that. What are psychic abilities? Abilities from the astral plane, which is only one plane, one level of awareness above this one. Not saying much. Because in this realm, you have a body, a solid body. In the astral world, you have an astral body. That's not solid. You don't have to eat. You could pick the age you want to be when you go there, if you get to stay there. And if you get there, you're going to think it's incredible. But it's not. It's only like going from kindergarten to first grade. There's many levels that get better and better and better if you even care to go that far or try to. But you can't be attached to everything that's on this planet. All the false truth, all the false learning, all the false teachings. We don't make anything spiritual. We don't do anything spiritual. Why are all these people making tons of money teaching you how to become a spiritual being, raise your consciousness, become your higher self? All these words. Just stop using the idea that you're not as good as you should be. Well, let go of the idea because you're programmed by your family. Most of your family tell you you're dumb, you're stupid, or whack you on the head and all those kind of things when you were little. And it sinks in. You whack a kid on the head too many times, it really destroys them. You tell them they're stupid too many times, it hurts them. Tell a child something, it could be with them the rest of their life. Never mind sexual abuse and all those other words. We play with fire every day. Everything we do is like playing with fire. And it's going to burn something sooner or later, or everything. And we think aliens are going to help us. What? What do you think? If the top 10 super aliens came down, what are they going to tell you? Pray to me. Sit down and meditate. Clear your consciousness. Become one with all. All what? All the stories programmed in your brain? Becoming one with nothingness. That means nothing. Becoming one with yourself, understanding who you are, is still nothing until you know what that really means. Aliens aren't going to teach you that. They do not know. Souls of people coming into this reality are aliens. They're reincarnating as humans now. They're taking a step up from being an alien. Oh, well, they're this. Why? Because they travel in spaceships and travel fast? That makes them super, super spiritual? The word spiritual and science are two ridiculous words. I mean, one's ridiculous compared to the other. Science has nothing to do with spiritualism. Psychic abilities have nothing to do with God, whether you want to believe that or not. Moses used psychic abilities. Some of them. Jesus had them all, and so did Mary Magdalene. Not too many of the people in history had them, or had them at any high level. People have them today, about 1%, 0.5%. If you've had any psychic ability to 95 or even 100%, you would change reality, and it's not going to happen. And you got, I'm going to say a name. So you got 2, 3 movies out now. I watched them all. Watched her story. Caroline Corey. Watch her movies. Ego, nothing but ego. She's nice looking, looks pleasant. She goes on about drones and clones and all those words are good. Really? For what? She can levitate a piece of paper. She can change people's DNA. Well, I learned that 40 years ago with the medicine one I studied with. I do it over the food I eat so that it's not going to kill me. And it purifies it, changes the energy of it. You know, but to say it's beneficial to the world, to do what? What are you going to do beneficial to the world? All right. You know, watch her movies, see where she's going with her stuff. Then you got Stephen Greer going on and on and on. They go out with lights and shoot them at light ships and things like that. And oh, we talk to aliens. Really? Say one important thing they told us. Now, two things. I hope I can remember both of them. Evie, an alien, worked for the government for a time until he died, until they had to kill him. All right. But there's an interview on the internet. It's still up, and it's real, people. I'm surprised it's up. But, you know, if you know anything about the New World Order, they got to leave the truth out there. At least put it out there to let people see it before they can do something. Well, they interrogated an alien. You'll never get to see the whole thing. But Whitney Shriver's watched it and started crying on TV when they showed part of it. But they're interrogating this alien. And what he says, oh, the world's going to be destroyed by one person. And they were trying to get him to say what person it was. And he goes, I can't say it. And they didn't show you what they were really doing to this poor alien. But he doesn't know. He gave his idea of what the history of the ending and the beginning of the planet, which they don't know either. The human race has very limited understanding of creation, where souls came from, where people came from, and all that. So when they go on about proving a fish turned into a butterfly, whatever they want to try to prove, is ridiculous. It doesn't matter, because that's not what you are. Your soul, which is inside this body, is you. But there's a mind, like a car battery, that runs the car. It runs the body. It's got 5 senses, and all those senses make you think of love, feeling, touch, smell, taste. All those things are real. It's real important to the body because that's all it thinks is important. It doesn't feel any word about angels, God, dimensions of letting go of the body, traveling in the soul body, astral body, mental body, whatever. All right, all those things are important. Aliens are not going to teach you that. I'm sorry, they can't. They're reincarnating into humans because that's the level they attained. Technology doesn't get you far spiritually. You think Buddha and all these people that went into meditation for 40 years needed high-tech spaceships to get around and dream and all that? No. I'm not saying going to meditation for 40 years is going to make you smarter either. But you know, your ego grows. If you can't control it, it grows to the worse. It never grows to the better. You need a piece of ego to know that you're alive, you're a person, and you're individual. Not you're one with everything. Do you want to be one with a consciousness that's ignorant? God's not ignorant, people. Never was. It created the human race perfect. Perfect. We destroyed that, not God. We destroy everything we touch, not God. Who controls the people here? Well, you could use aliens and you could use the word Satan. Not Lucifer. All right. And Jehovah, Satnam are gods on the astral plane. They judge souls so they can't go past the astral plane into the next realms, which are much higher, much incredible. Take whatever you believe to be the most beautiful, incredible thing on this planet and multiply it by 1,000,000 or even 1,000,000,000. And you might understand how much better it gets. Better it gets. Now, the things that change that aliens and humans probably don't want, you're no longer male or female. So it's not God, the goddess, and all those words. No, it's not. Not that it's, oh, great sex or great love and all that. No, it's not. But that's all the mind's programmed to accept and understand. Can't understand dimensional shifts and all that until you experience it. And once you experience being out of the body, you'll understand you're not the body. Aliens don't understand that. They're still trying to clone their bodies, keep their race alive. Why? This is hell. This is as bad as it gets, not as good as it gets. Aliens don't know that. They still need to come here to get some food to eat, some children to take, and all that kind of stuff. They're sick, perverted, twisted entities. All the creatures that come here. Watch all these alien movies, ghost movies, spirit movies, all those kind of things. Show me where it's really good angels or good beings, or not angels, sorry, good souls and spirits are. If you're haunting a place, means you're attached, and they'll never get into the afterworld because they didn't obtain an awareness enough to even do that. Just because you get to the astral plane, which is called heaven, you don't stay there either until you're raised to a certain level, which very few people ever attain on this planet. But when they show you these movies and come out, you chicken, face me, make a noise, do this, do that, telling us an entity, a soul, stuck in a world that doesn't know why, where, what's happening, and that's all it knows, that I'm stuck here. And not to brag, I was doing ghost busting when I was 16. Seriously. The D.E.W Mansion was one of the most haunted houses in the United States. We were going there every Sunday. How many people died there? George Washington had his headquarters there, and he faced the East and West River so they could watch the ships coming in and everything. And all of Harlem was George Washington's horse stables. Seriously. The D.E.W Mansion, the oldest house in New York City, is still there. Well, it could be taken down this week, but I went there every week, and we were going to do a movie. I don't want to get into that whole story, but I was working on freeing spirits there. Madame Jumel still haunts the house, and she said she's not going to leave the house until it's taken down. So she's attached to the house, and she'll stay here, but she's happy with that. But, you know, all the history of the D.E.W Mansion in New York City, school buses used to pull up and they saw her staring out the window. You go in there, you would hear her running around. It was an incredibly haunted house. I was friends with her. I worked with a top medium as well at that time frame. She was considered the top psychic medium in the United States in the New York Psychic Center. And I met with, there are multiple stories. I did it all. I've been there. But all of it is a distraction from who and what you really are. Living on planet Earth, it's important. Oh, it's great to have children. It's great to be married. It's great this. It's great that. It's all just programming the consciousness of an ego. You don't need any of this. Because when you leave, you don't take any of it with you. Zero. Not your money, not your wife, not your pets, nothing, not your children. Sorry, people, we have karma. And until you learn to work that off, you're not going to get anywhere anyway. And oh, karma's not real. I went to a psychic and he healed all my karma. No, he didn't. He told you he did. They can't heal you either, people. Oh, I walked away. That's your own energy. But did you work out the karma that caused you to get the problem? We do things and think and accept. We have the power to do everything. We do. So when you go to a psychic, all you do is open yourself up to him, give him your energy so he can try to heal you. But again, if your karma is bad, you're not going to do it that way. Karma means lifetime after lifetime. You kill somebody, you'll reincarnate a few times just for that one thing. And if you come back and kill 10 more people, guess what? That karma is escalating, meaning you'll be here for such a long time. I'm not talking 125 years. I'm talking about 125 reincarnations. All right. I'm aware of all my reincarnations. Incarnations, people. All right. Since Atlantis. I had one lifetime before I came to this planet. All right. In Atlantis, I learned so much. Why did I stay? I got pulled into reality of this reality for many lifetimes. I'll tell you the truth. It changed. I had 2 incredible lifetimes before this one. One was in Atlantis, and then 2 when Jesus was alive. Oh, well, he's not real. He's an alien. No, it's all bull stories from people that don't know the truth or don't want it. Religions don't put out the truth. They don't have it to give. They don't have the ability to tell you what it is. And most of their truth came from a man. Moses' teachings, 613 laws from a twisted man who killed so many people. He brought people to a promised land that doesn't exist. How's that? People got to the promised land and killed everybody there. Is that spiritual? He walked all his people around in circles until they all died. The children's and their children's all got to the promised land and had to kill all these people that were there already. So the whole concept of that, what did Moses do spiritually? Fought the Pharaoh, killed all the children, killed all the poisoned the water, did all these things? Was anything spiritual? When they had the mist come and kill all the children, do you know why they don't even? Well, there was a science fact on that, showing that when that mist came in, it rose across the land. Children slept on the ground. The parents slept on the higher part of the house. So it killed all the children. I mean, the plague, they said it was the rust in the water, which made the frogs come out, which caused the plague, and all these things. It's natural things that could cause it. But natural things can be created as well by higher beings, entities, and things like that. Now, the worst thing that happened to the human consciousness and human world is aliens gave Tesla the most deadliest thing that could ever given to a human race: time travel. The Philadelphia experiment was the first part of that experiment. Then it became the Montauk Project. There's two people that talk about that. Famous, wrote many books and all these egotistical ideas. And he goes to another country, Tasmania, and they found this pyramid, and it has a machine that tells you what race you are, alien race and all that. And they got these tunnels that go around the world. And it goes into a lot of stuff, but prove one thing. Prove one thing. You know, I'm sick and tired of hearing stories. I'm hanging into the UFO world barely. Not that the spiritual world's any better, because people don't want to hear that either. Oh, I'm spiritual. I'm holy. I'm this. I'm that. Why? Because I go to church Sundays, or I pray every day. I send unconditional love to the world. I'm a good person. Really? What's a good person? Whose laws do you abide by when you're a good person? Nobody's. You don't accept anybody's laws or anybody's truth because you have your own, which should be your own. Not programmed when you were little, not programmed along the way. You that experienced your own truth. Now, doing drugs. People think ayahuasca takes them to the God, to spirit, to higher worlds. Peyote, oh, it helped them. Now, when the Native Nation, when they did Sundance, do you know anything about a Sundance, what it really is? Well, they put spikes through their chest, bones, get a rope put around it, and they get hung on that until they pass out. And they stay there for days to get their vision. They're forcing themselves to have a vision of who and what they are. I mean, it's one way to get to a place, but it's a little bit harsh when there's a lot of easier ways, techniques to understand soul. Step out of the body, but you don't need to be doing these horrible things to your body. But then again, people can do meditations and prayers all their life and never have an experience. What do? Call aliens out. Hey, give me an experience. Well, I'm going to take you on a ship and show you the universe. I'm not going to show you God. I'm not going to show you angels. I'm not going to show you anything important. Why are we going this way? Because there's UFOs around the planet all the time now, doing different things. Nothing good. I can go into all those details. I do on and off. I miss Tina because we split whatever she feels is important right now as well. But when I talk to people, I got so many people around me looking up for alien ships and things like that now. And they all tell me they see them. Are they all seeing drones? No. Is everything a drone? No. Drones cannot travel faster than the speed of light. Number one thing. I'm in touch with the Skinwalker Ranch. And he's giving me these stories. Well, what do you want to prove? What do you want to do? I said, how about put the truth out there? Let's let go of Tic Tacs and tell about real ships. Let's talk about real aliens and what they're doing. Well, I'm still waiting. He wants me to send him another letter explaining it in detail. All right, this is the head guy of Skinwalker Ranch. Now, I was friends with, this is an important story, people. I met a guy, we started talking. His name was John Edmonds. Well, I got him to open up to me. And he said, well, He was abducted. He dealt with aliens. He killed 18 Greys. I spent 2 years working with him. Seriously. I didn't have a lot of money. I still don't. But he wanted me to come out there, which I did want to go out there. And I actually got the money in a week, and then I went out there. Sadly, his living conditions were horrible. What he does was horrible. And he was great at changing stories. I'm not saying he killed 18 Greys, which I don't believe he did, but he did kill at least one, because I don't know if you know the true story of E.B. The doctor that analyzed and did the autopsy on E.B. also did the testing on the blood that John Edmund gave him of the alien he killed. But he screwed up a couple times, because when I went out there the week before, he said an alien attacked him and his wife and knocked the house off the foundation and all this stuff. I got out there. None of that was true. And I said, well, because he kills him with a sword. His statement is, if you cut their head off, they stay here. If you don't, they disappear. All right. But he had blood. And I said, what did you do? Oh, I just wiped it off. My sword was corroding. I couldn't. You got rid of alien blood today, meaning the present, and you destroyed all that evidence. For what reason? So in the interim, I introduced him to my friend. He put out a book, but he was killed last December. All right. Now, we used to talk. He said the Men in Black are going to meet with him tomorrow. We would go out to dinner with an alien and the Men in Black and all these stories, Delhi. Then he said, I'm inviting aliens to the farm. It was called the Stardust Ranch. All right. It's right next to an alien base. And I'm serious. I was there. I watched ships going up and down. I thought it was a real army base. And he goes, you want to go up to the base? I go, yeah. And he takes me out to this mountain. I said, well, where's the base? Well, that's it. I said, there's nothing there. Well, it's an alien base. It's underground. I didn't believe him. But that night, the ships that were going up and down threw back at me. It was crazy. Another friend of mine I brought there with $30,000 camera. Filming, go, come out. There's all. I said, I don't want to see planes and ships, because I brought top people to my friend's house. I can't say who and what, but they filmed aliens. They filmed ships over the house. Why is it that you don't hear much about that, but you hear the Skinwalker Ranch? What happened there? People died. You know that too. What the story is? Why Bigelow sold it? He also came out to John Edmund's ranch and wanted to buy it. John knew he was famous, so he gave him some super ridiculous price. And he goes, I can't spend that kind of money for this ranch. But it was like 1/10 the size of the Skinwalker Ranch. But everything happens on this little ranch. So I have many friends that disappeared. Like I said, 16 friends, good friends, terminated. But, does it matter if people don't want to hear the truth? You can have the best speakers in the world talking. If nobody listens or cares, does it matter? They like storytellers. Even in the Native Nation, they have storytellers. In history, they say how Jesus talked in parables. Because they were, for a word, ignorant, dumb, stupid, whatever kind of word you want to use. They were farmers, fishermen. They didn't know much. They knew how to catch a fish. They knew how to kill an animal or whatever. They didn't think about God. God wasn't a normal word for them. Why Jesus had to always say our Father, not God. But again, people, do you want truth? Do you want to live by the stories, parables, and all these things? Jesus said one thing over and over. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to go into heaven. People that are rich, but you don't care. You think you're rich, you think you're spiritual, you think everything else, but you don't want the truth either. Money can't get you into heaven. And the more you have, the less chances you've got to stay there in the astral plane. People, you can't buy your way into the astral plane. You can't stay there if you don't deserve it. If your vibration and energy is not right and you got karma, you're coming back here. And then the sad part is, you won't remember your last life. All the lifetimes you have, how many do you remember? Some people say, I remember my last life. There's a spiritual person, I forgot what religion it was, it's in California, and he tells everybody their past life. Somebody tells you something, it doesn't mean anything until you experience it. I mean, go to a psychic. They'll tell you, oh, you were this, oh, you were that, oh, yeah. If you can't prove it to yourself, it's useless. But then again, if you were a piano player and you could sit in front of a piano and start playing any song you want, guess what? Hold on one quick second. Maybe it's important for the show. Stop. No, it wasn't. But people, you know, I didn't know how long I was going to go with the show. It would have been longer if Tina was here because I wanted to do her thing, her and me together for the first hour. But people, nobody put a question in there. I guess everybody knows everything. All right. People, you want the truth? Tell yourself what it is. Write it down on a piece of paper and read it again. Is God real? Is heaven real? Is death real? What happens after death? All those questions. Do you really know any answers to any of them? You should. Because you're going to die. It could be tomorrow. It could be next year. It could be 10, 20, 50 years from now. But you're going to die. And are you prepared to take a step into that realm? I had 5 death experiences. I spent 45 years traveling in and out of my body. I met with deities, met with angels. I went up to the realm of God 3 times. And I'll tell you this. The first 2 times you get to go close to that realm, an angel has to take you there. A high angel has to take you there. The 3rd time, you are going by yourself. It could be for a split second. You're not going to... Time doesn't exist there, so it's not the same as here. And God's not going to sit there and talk to you. Well, I'm glad you made it. I hope you're doing good. No, that's not going to happen either, people. And God doesn't... Between God and aliens might make you think love's important, which they don't. They don't have compassion. They don't have the same emotions the human race does. None of them do. The Pleiadians, whatever word you want to use, however you want to call them, Billy Myers people. A friend of mine wrote a very important book, the 2nd most important book in the UFO world, I think. Worked with them, was on their ships, created medicines when he came back from them. They're very much human, except they look really frizzy hair and kind of cavemanish looking. Not, I mean, human, but they didn't take care of their body that much, put it that way. But again, they're not spiritual. They said if we destroy one more of their ships, they will destroy us. Well, for an alien race to tell people that, guess what? The ships that Billy Myers put up, those little satellite ships and all that, are not what they drive today, people. When Billy Myers made his first fake UFO, it was the most stupidest thing he ever did because it took away his credibility. Because he had reporters come out there and they shot pictures of the garbage can cover that he made into a UFO. People, the truth can be destroyed real easy. But again, how much truth did he really have? These ships came around and just went around like this around his house. For what reason? If you want to make yourself known, you land, you say hi. You don't like dangle like that, doing nothing. They didn't do anything. They never gave Billy Myers anything important, except the prophecy. They gave him a prophecy of what's going to happen to the world. 100 prophecies. And about 90% of them came true already. In his time frame, they all basically came true to a degree, and some of them in great detail. So that's one thing that they gave us because, it was a warning. Prophecies are usually a warning. If they're not heeded, not accepted or understood, they don't stop what's going to happen. Now, to explain how that, I know Sean David Martin, Sergeant 18, both of them prophesized about 9/11. Sean in detail on both places that were going to be hit, when, how, and all that. Except the day it happened, nobody was in front of the Trade Center. Nobody was on TV saying it's going to be destroyed. All right, a prophecy, when it was given to Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, I mean, you either listen or you don't. And if you don't, it changes reality. And if you listen, it changes reality, one for the better and one for the worse. If Noah didn't listen, guess what? The world would be so different right now. Sodom and Gomorrah, well, he lost his wife because she didn't listen. But what he did, he had sex with his children to produce his family again and everything else. So, morals are created by conditions of people. I don't think people have any morals today, sadly to say. I mean, morals can be good or bad. Now, you think aliens cared about guns? Seriously, you think they care about the Constitution? The Native people did, because they created most of the Constitution, and they were forbidden to be part of it. They were considered government property. They couldn't do it public utilities, and it's a horrible situation. But I'm talking about humans. I'm not even talking about the aliens, what they did. And then when the aliens say the Greys helped them, the star beings came down. What? What did they give them? Popcorn? They gave them corn first, and then they gave them popcorn later? What do you think aliens do for people? Nothing. They take children, take your DNA, take your semen, and take your blood. And if that's not good enough, they eat you. And I'm serious, people. Read Phil Snyder's story. How many bodies they found there? I think it was 148,000 skeletons piled up down there. They don't eat, Greys don't eat through their mouth like we do. They suck blood through their pores, people, just so you know. That's why they smell so bad. The truth's there, people. Do you want to listen? Oh, they're good people. They're friends. They're going to help us. All my friends, so-called in the UFO world, tell great stories. And when a story gets better, it becomes a greater lie. If it's not good to begin with, it doesn't get better because its time passes. One last story about things like that. I did a UFO convention right next to Area 51. And there was 2 other speakers. It was a 3-day seminar. All right. The woman was working for the government tracking UFOs. But she was brought on a ship going to the moon. All right. She wasn't allowed off the ship for the whole time it was there. It was there for a month. But she was actually sexually abused on the ship, and there was an alien on the ship telling the person it was the United States government people that actually raped her. And the alien said to them, well, you're going to be sorry what you do to her. You don't know who she is. But that's the story that came out. I had her on my show the next year. Oh, I'm a healer now. I do spiritual work. Because you meet an alien, you become spiritual? In their mind, they do. And it's easy to convince other people that you're spiritual. How do you get a following? You get one person say, oh, he's really good. The other, oh, yeah, he really is. The guy that goes around the planet. Just stares at people for an hour. Never says a word to a person publicly, ever. And people flock to him and everything else. And and in the UFO world, the speakers, I'm not going to say all these names, but this other guy comes out channeling some alien. Really? Whoa, mankind. None of them came out with anything important that really happened. The whole Galactic Confederation, people, is the biggest program created in, I guess, I'm not sure about the year. I'd say around 75. Ashtar Command and all those things started coming out. Ashtar is a program. All right? It's a level created by the government. Well, you don't have to believe that. Follow Ashtar Command. Oh, well, this year they're going to come down and take people up, and that never happens. Every time they're going to meet on the mountain, that never happens. And they say, well, it happened in another level. Really? So that doesn't mean they're helping me, does it? So, these stories don't happen here. Why is that? Aren't really happening to reality. When a country like Turkey, what happened to them? If an alien was helping them? Of course not. When a war's happening, are they helping Russia or Ukraine? Are they helping them? Why not? Are they spiritual? Of course not. The world would never became this way. They would have never destroyed Atlantis. Atlantis was the only time we were spiritual people, whether you want to believe that or not. I know people don't like to listen to what I say because they don't like the truth. If you are hanging around and listening, or do listen to this, and you made it this far, congratulations. I'm sure you can only stand it for maybe 10 minutes. It's too much for your brain. Your brain can't deal with truth. It blows it apart. Oh no, I believe this person said that. Oh, no, that person said this. Really? Did you ever get out of your body? You ever have a death experience? Now, aliens are taking over, and they will. Oh, what I wanted to bring up, which I didn't say, Phil Snyder, before he was killed, said 2029 the aliens will take over the planet. Now, UN agenda is 2030. So between now and 2030, we'll be under one world order. So guess what? They're really ring together. Even though 193 countries agreed on the new the UN agenda 21-30, they don't know what it means. What's really going to happen? It basically means at least half of the population is going to be destroyed. There'll be one controlling factor for food and everything else, and they won't need people much. If you got artificial intelligence running everything, what do you think you need people for? If you got to have 10 robots running your company and working 24 hours day and night, 7 days a week, what do you need people and pay them tons of money? Getting sick and getting insurance and getting all these other things. Think about it, people. It's not a good thing. It never will be. Cars and planes and everything that fly itself. Hawaii's having a drone plane fly into Hawaii next month. And then they're going to spend 3 years playing and teaching and all that kind of stuff. Really? But it looks like a plane. I mean, a nice, cool looking plane, but it's a plane. It's not a satellite, not a spaceship. So people, when we talk about China, Japan, and all these other countries, do we know what they're doing? No. Yes, we do. Now, going back to Germany, they had ships way back. Did you ever see the ships they were trying to fly? They went 6 feet off the ground and they didn't travel faster than the light or sound or anything even close to it. They couldn't get it far and all that. Their technology wasn't real UFOs. Whereas the United States did have UFOs. They had the Pleiadian ship. They had a couple different ships. They had the gray ship. So yeah, they made a lot of copies and recreated it. Learning how to fly, it's a different story. I could go into stories about that, but not now. But the truth is, people, we're not in a good space. We're not moving into a good space, and aliens are not going to help us. Unless a super powerful race comes down, which there aren't any here now, are not here now, or they would save people. And it's this simple. If you're a mother and you got a child and you're walking towards the corner of a street and the light turns from green to red and your child's starting to run towards the street, do you say stop or you don't say nothing? You let your child run into the street? Do you really? Do you care? Of course you do. If aliens cared about the human race, they would stop us from doing what we're doing. The movie The Day the Earth Stood Still is still my favorite movie. I wish they redone it right. They did it over with Keanu Reeves and it made it stupid. But the original was done from when it was done, I think the year before I was born. But it was done incredible by what they had at that time frame. The robot was super, my favorite robot. But goth. And we need something like that. If aliens were good, they would do something like that. Look, you don't have too much time. We're not going to let you destroy the planet. But guess what? That's not happening. We got a race that the races that are coming here are radioactive. They want the planet radioactive. They need it radioactive. Why do you think the rich millionaire government people are moving underground, have cities underground? Because when the planet's radioactive, guess what? They're going to have recreated clones of Greys fixing the planet. But see, is China ready for that? Is Germany ready for that? Is Russia ready for that? Russia, Putin is rich. He might even be brought up on charges, but he's rich. He cares about his family. His family, period. So would you let a country get blown up? Of course not. People, we're in trouble. And who are you going to look to get answers or get help from? Who can we? Bob Lazar is another storyteller. Did you ever see the video of him cleaning them up on the floors? What he really was and his real clearance and all that. All these people come out with stories. Where's their actual proof? All right. Bob Lazar got to see things because he went in rooms. You know, a janitor gets to see everything that goes on in a school, a building, a bank, or whatever. People come in the bank and have to clean the bank. They have to clean everything. So guess what? They have a lot of clearance. I was in a school in Oregon, and I was a janitor and maintenance guy. I did both. I had to do all that kind of stuff. But I got to talk to the principal a lot and tell him what you do to Native people is sick. They put all the Native people in one room, in one class, and say they're all retarded because they're Native. And that was only years before I came to Hawaii. I was working in a school in Oregon. People, you know, man is pretty pathetic in their ways they think and create. The stories, have they told us anything important? I mean, they can tell a great story. Sergeant 18 and I, we were putting a lot of stuff out there. Who knows what's going on? He's supposed to be dead, supposed to be alive. I see something went up supposedly last month, but he's not coming out yet. Maybe he will. But he changed his name from Sergeant 18 to Lord Sargell. Man, who's calling me now? I don't know. You know, people, I could shut it off, but I'm always afraid that I'm expecting a really important call. But you know, all these people with these stories. Travis Walton's story help us at all? Does it really tell us what they really want, what they were doing? No. Tina does. Her story is incredible. What they're doing to people. What's really happening? Why are they here? Do you know? Do you care? These UFO people, I'm going to tell you, they're only here for our bodies and eating us and our blood, DNA, and ovaries. But people, it's up to you to search the truth, find the truth, and learn to accept it. You can't keep your programmed truth, which isn't real, forever, or you shouldn't. It's not going to get you any further down the road. I promise you that. And when you reincarnate, you're going to forget every single thing that happened to this lifetime and start all over. Well, people, I'm going to end it today. I could go on, but you know, I know people can't stand more than an hour of truth. They can't stand an hour, can't stand a half hour. It's too much for most people. Because, you know, truth hurts. It's not like it's going to make you feel better. Did I truly want to be here this long? No, not at all. Do I want to stay here? No, not at all. Am I going to go to a better place as soon as I leave? Of course. So why would I put my attention on staying here forever? These people, rich people, want to live forever. Why? They're afraid to go somewhere else, especially what they do with their karma. Well, people, Tommy Hawksblood here. If you got anything important to ask me or talk about, I'm going to put it up in this chat just so you should have it. All right, either way, you can get in touch with me. I mean, if you want to talk on the phone, or have to get in touch with me or through my email first. All right, people, it's a pleasure. I do this not to make money. I got a book on how to see UFO. If you want to, just text me, people. But again, my book's about spiritualism, life, and those kind of things. More about truth of why we're here and what we're doing and what we're not doing. Playing with aliens isn't going to make us better people. Never. playing with spaceships is not going to make us better. Going to the moon, Mars, and Venus is not helping us. The 5 beings or 7 beings that came from Venus aren't helping us at all. The one that went to the White House was different. He had super abilities. I mean, Alnek, whatever. She's from Venus. She said she took on a body at 6. She's at Mount Shasta teaching a lot. She teaches a teaching part of or similar to Eckankar, because she worked with the guy that created Eckankar. People, check it out. Check out the truth. There's only 2 religions that teach you a technique that's needed to move forward. Not the whole teaching, but techniques that you need to move forward spiritually. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. Hope you find it. Till next time, next week, hopefully Tina will be here on time and we'll be able to do the show.